Hey guys, it's the Maineyak here. I just want to show you how to change the oil on an Arctic Cat ATV. And this is a 2005 Arctic Cat 500 four-wheel drive with a CVT transmission, belt driven, and it's a single cylinder 500. The good thing about Arctic Cat is between most of the models, the oil change procedure is really just about the same. So yours may differ just a slight amount, but all in all, it's the same idea. Really not that hard. Let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, we're going to locate the oil drain plug. We're going to figure out what size socket it takes. So there's a plug right there. It's a 13/16 socket. Looks like this one's going to come up pretty easy. And there we go. What's next? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh. Now when that oil's all done draining, which we just got a few drips left, that's about it. You want to clean up the drain plug real good. A lot of times there'll be some little tiny metal shavings on there. And usually I'll just wipe around the hole where it threads in, just to make sure there's no dirt. That way you get a good seal on the gasket. And just put it right back in there. Whoops. Now I'm sure you could probably look up the specifications and get a torque wrench to figure out the exact amount you're supposed to tighten this. But basically, I just tighten until it's real snug. Okay, we're on the right side of the four-wheeler, as if you were sitting on it. And you can see, I put a drop light in there. Just ahead of that is where the oil filter is. Right on the very front of the engine case. As long as this oil filter wasn't over-tightened when it was installed, it should come right off by hand. But you can put oil filter pliers in there if you have to. Yeah, it looks like this one's going to come off. So make sure your drain pan's down underneath. And take it right on. There'll be a little bit of oil that drains out of it, obviously. So there we go. There's the old one. And that is a Napa, apparently, is the one that I put on there last time. I'm putting a CarQuest filter back onto it. The CarQuest part number for this particular machine is a 85359. You want to make sure it is the correct filter for the machine because these Power Sport filters usually do have an anti-drain back valve, so it helps hold the oil in the filter. That way it doesn't drain down. And when you start the engine up, cold, there's oil already in the filter that starts going through the engine. And what I'm going to use for oil is this Valvoline ATV 10W40 weight 4-stroke oil. I've used it in the past on all my Arctic Cat machines. It works great. Never had a problem with it. Of course, there's plenty of brands that'll work just as good, I'm sure, as long as it meets the requirements of the machine. Always take a little bit of fresh oil and just lube up that gasket. Doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to wet it like that. And you take your new filter. Make sure the gasket comes off the old filter, by the way. If it sticks on your engine case and you put a new filter on there with the old gasket still there, well, that's called a double gasket, and usually what happens is it will blow out and oil will go everywhere. Just want to snug it up pretty good. Don't want to over tighten that either. So now we're ready to add the oil. Okay, now we're on the left side of the wheeler, as if you were sitting on it. It would be on your left side. You can see the oil fill plug, which is right here. Or oil fill cap, I should say. And it has a small little dipstick on it here. I should put it down in front of the light probably. And we'll get a funnel to put the new oil in there. Okay, I think I found the perfect funnel. I'm going to go ahead and start pouring our oil into the case. Look at that nice clean oil going in there. Oh yeah. That's going to make that engine happy right there. Hell yeah. Good enough? Good enough? Now, yet another. So 2,500 milliliters is obviously 2.5 liters. Of course, I have quarts because I'm here in the United States. Not sure when it'll be, but eventually I'm sure we'll convert to the metric system. Until then, we have to convert everything that's metric. But a quart is almost a liter. The reason quart bottles are shaped like this is so that you can pour it without it glugging on you. If you take a fresh quart of oil and you try to pour it like this, that's what happens. You gotta let that air get in there. In case you didn't know that. As far as I can recall, it takes a little bit more than what's stamped on the case with it, filter change and everything. There's one way to find out. I like to just clean that out a little bit. Now when you check these, you don't screw them all the way down in. You just place the dipstick in there and then pull it out. And right there, you may not be able to see, but we're actually right at the full mark, just barely above it. Now what I'm going to do is replace this cap, fire up the machine, and that should put a little bit in the oil filter. And I believe it's going to be right where it needs to be. All right, let's see what we've got. Okay, so let's go ahead and check the oil again. What I'm going to do first is wipe that off. And just like last time, just place it in there until it's all the way down without screwing it. And bring it back up. And that is perfect, really. Just about perfect. It's right here, which is just under the full mark. It'll take a second for all the oil to drain back down in the pan anyway, So there you have it. That's how you change the oil on an Arctic Cat ATV. Like I said, this one is a 2005 500, but most of them are quite similar as far as the procedure goes. Cheers, everybody. Take care, and happy ATVing.